All right, let's talk about something that's critically important: child road safety. And this is a topic that, honestly, it touches every single one of us, right? Whether you're a driver, a parent, or just walking down the street, we're all a part of this.
You know that feeling, don't you? That heart-in-your-throat moment where everything just freezes. It's that split second of pure panic. And it really hammers home just how dangerous our roads can be, and why we all need to be paying attention, all the time.
So, to really get a handle on why kids are so at risk, we've got to do something a little different. We need to try and see the world from their perspective. And trust me, it is a completely different view from down there.
Okay, so check this out. It's a tale of two perspectives, and it really gets to the heart of the problem. As an adult, you see over things, right? Parked cars, bushes. Your line of sight is pretty clear. But for a little kid, their world is a maze of obstacles. They can't see the car coming, and maybe even more importantly, the driver can't see them. They're basically invisible.
And you know, it's not just about how small they are. You have to remember their brains are still under construction. Think of it like a sports car with a super sensitive gas pedal, but really weak brakes. That impulse to chase a ball into the street, it's powerful. And their ability to judge how fast a car is going or how far away it is, it's just not fully there yet. That's why we see those sudden, terrifying dashes into the road. And the heartbreaking reality is, if there is a collision, their smaller bodies are so much more vulnerable to serious injury.
And let's be crystal clear, this is not a small issue. It's a huge global problem. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, for kids between the ages of 5 and 14, road traffic injuries are the single leading cause of death. Think about that. The #1 cause.
Okay, so we've seen it from a child's point of view. Now let's flip the script. Let's get behind the windshield and look at it from the driver's perspective. What are the things that turn a regular drive into a potential tragedy?
Well, it really boils down to three main things. First, speeding. This one's just physics, right? The faster you go, the harder you hit, and the less time you have to stop. Second, distracted driving, and we'll get into why that's a bigger deal than you might think. And third, something as basic as not yielding to people at crosswalks. It happens all the time, and it's incredibly dangerous.
So this gets to the heart of distracted driving. There's this wild concept called inattentional blindness. It basically means you can be looking right at something, but if your brain is focused elsewhere, say on a text message, you don't actually see it. Your eyes are pointed at the road, but your brain just filters out the kid about to step off the curb because it's not what you're paying attention to. It's a really scary thought.
And just circling back to speed for a second. This chart says it all, but it's so important to really let it sink in. The risk isn't linear. Going just a little bit faster doesn't just raise the risk a little bit. It dramatically cuts down your reaction time and massively increases the force of an impact. It's the difference between a close call and a catastrophic event.
All right, so we get the risks, but just knowing is not enough. So what do we do about it? Let's get practical here. This section is for all the parents, the guardians, really anyone with a child in their life.
This might be the single most powerful tool you have. Just lead by example. Kids are always watching, right? They're little sponges. But here's a pro tip. Don't just do it, say it. Talk through your actions out loud. Like when you get to the curb, actually say, okay, first we stop. Now I'm looking left, now right. Okay, one more look left. Looks clear, let's go. You're teaching them the how and the why, not just the rule.
We all know the classic stop, look, and listen. And it's still gold. But the details are what make it work. That second look to the left, that's the one that can save a life, because that's where the closest lane of traffic is coming from. And one more thing, reminding them to walk, not run, is huge. It gives them way more control and time to react if a car suddenly appears.
And now for the big one, the question that probably keeps a lot of parents awake at night. When is it okay for them to cross the street by themselves? It's that classic battle between wanting them to be independent and, being terrified. So what's the real answer?
Well, experts generally point to age 10 as a good benchmark. But, and this is a big but, it's not a magic birthday. Before that, most kids just don't have the developmental tools to judge traffic safely. But even at 10 or 11 or 12, it comes down to your kid. You know their personality. Are they impulsive? Can they focus? And it also depends on the environment. Crossing a sleepy neighborhood street is a world away from crossing a 4-lane road.
Okay, so far we've talked about what kids can do and what caregivers can do. But that's only part of the puzzle. To make a real difference, we have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the system itself.
You can't solve this with just one thing. It's a team effort. You need education for both kids and drivers. You need better infrastructure,
Smarter, safer streets. You need enforcement of the rules we already have. And yeah, you need to use technology to our advantage. None of these work in a vacuum. They all have to support each other.
So, what does that actually look like on the ground? Well, it's things like safe routes to school programs that map out the safest way for kids to walk. It's simple stuff like speed bumps that physically force cars to slow down. It's clearly marked crosswalks. And it's even high-tech stuff, like smart crosswalks that light up when someone is crossing. These are real, tangible solutions.
And technology inside our cars is playing a bigger and bigger role. Things like automatic emergency braking can literally be a lifesaver. The car's computer can see a pedestrian and hit the brakes faster than a person ever could. But we have to remember what this is. It's a safety net. It's an amazing backup plan, but it's not a replacement for a driver who is paying full attention.
So when you put all of this together, the child's view, the driver's role, the caregiver's job, the community's infrastructure, one big idea becomes really, really clear.
It's that old saying, it truly takes a village. Every single person has a part to play. The driver who decides to go the speed limit, the parent who takes 5 extra minutes to practice crossing the street, the community leader who pushes for a new crosswalk. Each one of those small actions builds up into a powerful web of safety that protects all of our kids.
So I want to leave you with this final thought, kind of a challenge. The next time you're in your neighborhood, whether you're driving or just walking, I want you to try something. Try to see it from a child's height. Really think about it. What can't you see? What looks like a fun place to run? And then ask yourself, how does that change the way I drive? How does that change how much attention I'm paying? Because honestly, that simple shift in your own perspective, that might be the most powerful safety feature we have.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.